Okay, here we go again, I think. Let's see. Oh, we got some sound here. Look, we've got sound. Let's see. Sound. Yeah, we got sound. Okay. Let's make sure we got volume up. Fabulous. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. This is a second video we're doing tonight. This time we're going live. We're talking Dereck Chisora versus David Price. Interesting fight. Very interesting fight. A fight that I'm really interested in. Hope you can hear me clearly. Yes, Lakvinda, hope you're well. Hope you can hear me clearly. I spoke about this fight before when it was first announced. I predicted the fight would happen, and it indeed is happening. We've heard behind the scenes Dereck Chisora saying he's going to train himself. He don't need a trainer, and he is basically going to corner himself. Okay, well, fair enough. I know Dereck might be slightly lying there because I know that he's been training with Bryant Jennings in the gym, and there's been videos of him training. So I don't believe Dereck's trained himself. I don't believe too much he's trained himself. But Dereck Chisora's mindset, yeah, is the reboot fight, isn't it? China T fight, Dereck Chisora. Yeah, of course. I still think it's a good fight. I really do think it's a good fight for a number of reasons. For some reason, I don't know if it's the British crowd, British public, or Dereck Chisora himself. He seems to make people forget how many times he's lost as a professional fighter. A lot of people talk like Dereck Chisora is some demon fighter or some beast. This guy's been beaten 9 times. He's been knocked out twice. And the last fight he had against Dillian White, he was brutally knocked out, laid out flat. And then he comes out and fights Spilka in a fight that, Spilka was, he was ruined by Deontay Wilder. Let's put that straight. And Spilka had no business being in the ring with Dereck Chisora. Now, Dereck Chisora takes a lot of punches. He's been absorbing a whole heap of punches, even back to days when he was fighting the Vitaly Klitschko fights. He's a guy who takes a lot of punches. Defense is not Dereck Chisora's biggest asset. Okay. And he does the same thing in every fight. He's one of these fighters that I don't think improves. And I think that's mainly because of Dereck Chisora's mindset. He is one of these guys that does his own thing. And, for me, he had so much potential to go on and do so much more. Having said that, for the ability he's had, he's gone on to one of the British European champions. So you can't knock that. So at European level, he's shown that he's got what it takes. Just missing at world level. But with Dereck Chisora, you just don't know what you're going to get with him. If anybody can sit or watch this video and be for sure know what Dereck Chisora is going to come out like. If you look at the Gashi fight, how terrible he looked in that fight. They're just fights that Dereck Chisora you've watched along the years. Dereck Chisora comes out and fights guys, and he looks absolutely terrible. And then he fights other fights where he looks good in. I mean, he fought the Pulev fight, a very forgettable fight. Dereck was fired up for that fight. I don't know how much Dereck's going to be fired up for this fight against David Price. And I think Dereck Chisora, to get the best out of Dereck Chisora, he needs to be fired up. And what is his motivation to fight David Price? I mean, man's talking about fighting Alexander Usyk. The mindset of Dereck Chisora is, even if I get flattened by David Price, even if I get beat by David Price, even if I pull out on a fight against David Price, you know what? I can still get an Usyk fight. I can still get this fight. I can still get that fight. I've been beaten. I can rebound. So when I look at Dereck Chisora, he's a guy that, no disrespect to Dereck, but he can always come back and repackage himself. He can always repackage himself. And with that mentality of, I'm able to repackage myself, a loss doesn't mean anything to you. A loss doesn't mean anything to your business. Hey, smash the like button while you're in the room. Loss doesn't mean much to Dereck Chisora. Now, on the flip side, when we look at someone like David Price, a loss has meant everything to David Price. This is a guy, a fall from grace. This is a guy who was predicted to be the, you know, the next in line after the Klitschko's. If you go back and listen to Tony Bellew said he was ready for the Klitschko's after he beat Audley Harrison. So, when you look at that situation where Klitschko was, your Price was put so high up on the pedestal and then brought right down from where he is to get beat by Tony Thompson, which, he should never have been in with Tony Thompson. He should never have taken the rematch with Tony Thompson. But the British public and a lot of the media wanted him to take that rematch. And then when he got beat by Thompson, they washed his hands of him. Then he fought other fights he should never have been in the ring with. Tommy Brooks, for me, Tommy Brooks had David Price boxing his best, to be honest, because he was showing Price little moves and, getting him to be less robotic and using upper body movement more and knowing how to block and slip, and the little intricate things that I saw of him that was very interesting. Very, very interesting when I looked at that fight. So that was very, very interesting. And the development of Price then. But then he's gone to other trainers. I know he shifted and he left and he went and trained with Dave Colwell, which I always knew was going to be a disaster. It ended up being a disaster. It literally ended up being a disaster expected. But I like where David Price is now. I like where he is now. People look at the Povetkin fight and how he got stopped by Povetkin, but Povetkin is an elite athlete. He's a former gold medalist, gold world champion, and a top-rated fighter. So people look at the Povetkin fight and then look at Dereck Chisora, and look at Povetkin fight and then look at Dave Allen. There were people on here that believed Dave Allen was going to beat Dave Price. I'm like, it's not going to happen. You got a guy who's had an Olympic pedigree, good amateur background. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to Dereck Chisora. Dereck Chisora, Dave Allen, a lot of these guys, no disrespect to them, but they haven't had the amateur background that David Price has got, fundamentals. And as much as David Price has got beaten by the better guys due to poor management and poor matchmaking, this fight's a good fight for David Price. He's got to beat the guys like David Price if he's going to move Dereck Chisora. It's a good fight for David Price because this is a sort of style that David Price would have faced all these guys coming forward, chugging forward, trying to throw right hands over the top. I mean, by now, this could be an Indian summer for David Price. What I mean by Indian summer, people might explain what that means. When a guy's in the gym training, diligently training, and he's sticking and he's learning, and even though he's getting beat, he's still learning and he's practicing, he's making improvements. That's a dangerous guy. That's a very dangerous guy. And where it's easy to sit and say, David Price has got no chin, he's got no this, he's got no that. One thing I'm going to ask you, boxing fans, particularly those who are very critical of David Price, or critical of many fighters, when you get a prediction wrong, do you turn around and say that you've been exposed? No, you don't say that. When you say a guy's going to smash a guy in a couple of rounds, do you then turn around afterwards and do you look to yourself and say, you know what, I didn't get that prediction right, I didn't get this prediction right, I didn't really see that right, I didn't see that coming? Do you take a moment to go back and think, you know what, I didn't get that prediction right, let me try improving that? Most of you don't. You just go on and keep making predictions and not thinking about it. Well, you have the luxury of doing that. A boxer is in the gym constantly trying to improve themselves. And for someone like David Price, I see someone like David Price who actually is making improvements. When I saw the Dave Allen fight, I saw a lot of improvements. I saw him hitting David Allen with the uppercut. I saw him working to the body. I saw him throwing a nice short little uppercut combination punch, showing nice sharp hard jab. So I saw a lot of improvements in David Price. Whoever's working David Price at the moment is working with Price. And, if Price gets it all together, if he puts it all together mentally, physically, and emotionally, he's a dangerous heavyweight. He's a dangerous heavyweight. And he can keep that jab out there. He's a dangerous heavyweight. Now, how I see this fight playing out, a demotivated and unmotivated Dereck Chisora is a big window of opportunity for David Price. And I expect David Chisora to come in demotivated or unmotivated. These are two mates here. They're good friends. And I expect to see Chisora come demotivated. I don't expect to see him motivated. I really don't. If he comes motivated, well, great. But if you look at a lot of Dereck Chisora fights, on tape, he gets stung and hurt early in fights, but people don't capitalize it. I remember the Hellenius fight. I remember the Klitschko fight. I remember the Parler fight. I remember the recent Dillian White fight where he got stung early in that fight. On all these fights he's having, and he's getting clipped and getting hurt. Your punch resistant goes. His punch resistant goes. And getting laid out the way he got laid out by Dillian White in that last fight. Dereck Chisora is now 35 or 35, 36 now. He's no spring chicken. And whether he can motivate himself to do the things that a lot of people expect him to do is another thing. This, by far, I think David Price, people say that Dave Price is not a big puncher. I think he's a huge puncher. You ask Dave Allen. I think he's got enough power to hurt Dereck Chisora early in this fight, and I know people think I'm crazy. Guys, you're in the room, smash the like button. It's disgusting you're not smashing the like button. Smash that like button when you're in the room, please. David Price has got all the tools to beat Dereck Chisora. I really do believe that. I truly believe that David Price has got the power to stop Dereck Chisora early on as well, because Dereck comes rolling in and he does leave himself. Dereck does leave himself exposed to get hit. Dereck Chisora style to be rolling and chuck the right hand over the top. There's no other science, or there's no rocket science on what Dereck Chisora's going to do. He's going to come in, he's going to try and walk in and throw the right hand over the top. And if he hasn't got somebody in his corner, that's always the advantage to David. David's got to snap that jab, keep it in Dereck's face, and as Dereck comes in, hit him with a right hand, hit him with the uppercut, tie him up inside, push him off and go again, and push Dereck back. Dereck Chisora's great going forward, but he's absolutely terrible off the back foot. He forced Dereck back, can't do much off the back foot, and he can sit on the ropes. Another thing Dereck likes to do is sit on the ropes or lay on the ropes. So he's got to keep Dereck Chisora. He's got to push Dereck back, and he's got to dictate the pace, which means he's got to fight. Dereck Price has got to fight at his pace, slow the fight down, be able to pick him off with a jab, use the right hand, and just space between him and Dereck. Long range is where David Price has got to have this fight. Keep Dereck at distance. When Dereck decides to come in, hit him with them hard uppercuts and tie him up inside. He's got to let that right hand go, David. He really has. And when he gets Dereck hurt, use the left hand to keep Dereck at bay and drive that right hand through. He really has got to put pressure on Dereck. He's got to push Dereck back, push him back. Don't let Dereck get onto the front foot. Use the jab, keep him in the face. This is the kind of fight that I can see Dereck pulling out of, like on a stool, injury or something like that, to give David Price the win because he likes David. I can see something like that happening as well. You think I'm stupid? I can see it happening, or crazy. I can see something like some nonsense like that, or Dereck getting disqualified or something. I can see that stuff just to give David that break. I really can. I really can. Because Dereck can always come again. He can always come again. I guess maybe there's a fight down the line for him against Parker, and he's talking about an Usyk fight as well. But yeah, I you know what? I would not be surprised if Dereck did something like that. I really wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me. I know a lot of people are expecting Dereck to come in and KO Price, but I think, I think this might just be the fight that David puts it all together. Dereck Chisora is no Povetkin. He certainly is no Povetkin. And he's not even a Christian Hammer. I'm sorry, because I think Christian Hammer's a dangerous fighter. And just remember, Cash Ali as well. Christian Hammer got dropped by David Price. Tony Thompson got dropped by Dereck Price. So, Dereck can be ponderous as well. And I think David can time with the right hand. There's gaps there. We can hit Dereck with the right hand. Dereck You know, if Dereck had spent more time with Don Charles, I think, and he spent more time perfecting, working on rolling and getting inside and throwing the left hook, rolling on the inside left hook, rolling and getting inside left hook, rolling against. This is a guy, Dereck, I've watched up close. I've watched Dereck up close. I've seen him spar guys like Ustinov and Vac. I've seen these guys putting Dereck on the ropes and keeping him on the ropes, and Dereck staying lots of time on the ropes and then coming off the half, jumping off the ropes for a left hook. I've watched him spar up close. I've watched him with Vac. I've watched him with Ustinov. Big heavyweights. Okay, takes a lot of punishment, Dereck, and he's taken a lot of punishment. And you know, the Spilka fight doesn't tell you how much what Dereck's got left durability wise, you know. So he's got the power, David Price, to drop, to hurt, and to stop Dereck Chisora. He has, and if he can catch Dereck early, which is very possible because of Dereck's does leave him. And when Dereck gets hurt, he doesn't hide when he's hurt. One thing Dereck does when he's hurt, you watch Dereck Chisora when he gets hurt, he backs up, he backpedals to the ropes. So yeah, I think David Price is improving. I think this story, and you've got to watch boxing, and boxing fans sometimes get their heads stuck on something and they don't look at fight videotape. And somebody's come in and said David's too scared. Really? I don't think he's scared. If you look at the Dave Allen fight, which everyone was saying Dave Allen was going to beat David Price, he didn't look a scared fight to me there. Didn't look scared to me at all. So I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say David Price puts it together and he causes a shock upset and he stops Dereck Chisora, or Chisora pulls out. Yeah. That's where I'm going with this fight. I'm going with David Price on this one. I really am. I'm going with even though when I spoke to Vlad Tsarenko a few days ago, he wasn't impressed with Dave Allen at all, and he thinks that Dereck Chisora will KO Price. I get that, and I see that. I get what people are getting at there, but Dereck's very inconsistent, and you're never sure what you're going to get with Dereck Chisora. And because of those inconsistencies, and plus of all the stuff he's been saying about, you know, training camp and all the rest of it, I'm going to go with David Price, the consistent guy, the hard-working guy, the guy that's, you know, despite all the defeats, is still working to get better. And I'm seeing improvements in David Price. So I'm going with David Price. A lot of people are disrespectful about David Price. Real disrespectful. This is a guy that's got a very good amateur pedigree and was matched wrong. He was poorly matched. David Price is an example of a fighter that was poorly matched. And Deontay Wilder is a guy that was very well matched. You know, if David Price was managed the way Deontay Wilder was managed, David Price may well have been heavyweight champion of the world. People laugh at me, but bad management and bad management ideas. Can David Price go on to go from the gatekeeper? That's a good question. To 2971. It's a very good question you ask. Can he go on? I think he can. I think he can go past the gatekeeper, Chisora. I really think he can. So yeah, and that's another point. It's a very good point you make there, that everyone that David Price has lost to would beat Dave Allen. You know, there's a few guys on that record that would beat Dereck Chisora as well. I don't see, you know, Povetkin would beat Chisora. I think that Tony Thompson would beat Dereck Chisora. Christian Hamill would beat Dereck Chisora, I think. Caballel, was it Caballel? Was not the Caballel, the other guy, the European champion, beat. You know, so this is a guy that's been beaten 9 times, Dereck Chisora. I don't know how many times I have to say that. This fight makes no sense for Chisora. If he wins, no one will congratulate him hard. If Price wins, he's near the top. So for me, it's about Price ramming that left jab home, slinging that, putting that right hand in, that nice uppercut that he was throwing against Price. He had Price was throwing good practice against Dave Allen. I think that Price has had better practice and preparation for Dereck Chisora than Dereck Chisora's had for David Price. Dereck's last fight was against Spilka. Price's fight was against Allen, which fought at a decent pace. And another guy that was coming in just to chuck the right hand over the top. But yeah, I'm definitely going for me. Is Price with Frank or free agent? He's the Matchroom. I believe Price is with Matchroom. So yeah, I'm going with Price on this one. I'm going with Price. He's got to beat Dereck Chisora. I'm sorry, he's got to beat Dereck Chisora because Dereck's exciting and all the rest of it, but he has lost 9 times, and you know, I keep stressing that. You know, so I just wonder how much Chisora's got left in the tank. Every guy that David Price has fought, apart from the guy, there was one guy he fought, knocked him out in 2 rounds. He slipped under Price's jab and rolled and came up and threw that left hook, and he laid Price out like a carpet. But I think that was a bad time in Price's career as well. I think Price looks in a good place. I like him. He looks in a good place. So yeah, all the best for David Price tomorrow night. Yeah, Erkan, that's it, Erkan, him. So yeah, so you take those guys, take all those guys that were doped up against Price, take them out the agenda, and look at the guys that Price has been beat by. The quality fighters, all quality fighters. So what? He lost 9 times on White, went life and death with him. No, he didn't. Dillian White's second fight boxed Dereck Chisora, and in the first round, if you go back and look at that fight, Dillian could have got Dereck out of there in the first. Go back and look at that fight again. The second fight was a very different fight to the first fight. Dillian was much more wiser and smarter, and you can see how he's improved as a heavyweight. He's improved as a heavyweight, and nobody gives. I want to end by saying this: nobody gives Mark Tibbs the credit that he deserves as a trainer. You look at Mark Tibbs and how Dillian White started as a heavyweight, and you look at when Mark Tibbs took him over from when he was with Jonathan Banks, and you look how Dillian White has improved as a boxer. I think his boxing skills have improved so much. He's improved so much. Well, you're entitled to go around calling people overrated, but I think your comments are pretty overrated because to beat the guys at the top level, Lucas Brown, Oscar Rivas, he was in the most busy heavyweights, fighting the most highest ranked heavyweights around. So it's very easy. If you're Lucas Brown now, you're looking back and laughing at Lucas Brown, but you were one of the guys who was a big fan of Lucas Brown here. So, we can laugh now, but I'm sure if I brought you the comment section and brought you back to the videos back then, you were shouting about Lucas Brown. Lucas Brown was heavyweight champion of the world. I understand he was heavyweight champion of the world, and he carried a big right hand, right? Lucas Brown was a big puncher. Say what about Lucas Brown, he's not top level. He's man is heavyweight champion of the world, and he knocked out Shagayev. So for me, Shagayev was a good heavyweight, and he beat Shagayev, and he went to Shagayev's backyard, got up, and he knocked Shagayev out. He fought James Toney as well, didn't he? That was a decent fight as well. So yeah, okay, but Luke is near the end of his career now, man. Come on, man, behave yourself. Talk about a guy when he's at the end of his career. So what? Sugar Ray Leonard got knocked out by Terry Norris at the end of his career, and by Camacho. Does that mean Sugar Ray Leonard wasn't a good fighter? I mean, guys, not everybody who fights has got to be elite level, and even if they're elite level, some of you guys don't appreciate the elite level fighters. So Lucas Brown's a good fighter. He's a good fighter for what he had and where he came from. The boy did well for himself. I'm not going to sit here and slag him off. We love your shows, Ingram, but the people want to know when the Champions League start on PS 2020, mate. White's record is taking forever. Well, according to you, it is. According to you, it is. But in that case, there's a lot of fighters. Then in that case, then Canelo's record should be taking forever. Shall we get going? Correct. Canelo's record should be taking forever. Canelo should be fighting against. Should never have that fight against Golovkin. He should be banned for a longer period of time. All right. So Canelo should cheat as well. So Canelo was contamination. Yeah, of course it was. Yep, of course it was. Yep, of course it was, because you were there. You were there for Dillian White. You were examining it there, and you were there when you examined Canelo as well. You know, Canelo and White, you did it for. Listen, I know you guys as bias comes. We know what your agenda's about already, so let's not go there. We know what you're about. We know what your political agenda is, so let's not go there. All right. But yeah, I know. And it's the same people every time. We know their political agendas. They get blocked in everyone's channel. If you want to know what I think about Taylor and Progress, please watch the video before this. It's on the channel. Again, please don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments. As always, we appreciate you and your comments, but keep them respectful. So yeah. So again, for Price to win this fight, I think he's got to catch. He's got to catch up. White's a fraud. Okay, so let me break this down to you. I know you've come with an agenda to talk about Dillian White, and that's fine. So you know what? You feel that much of a vendetta against Dillian White, you go up to him. Dillian White trains down at Miguel's gym. He also trains at the IQ Boxing Academy with Xavier Miller in North London, Hendon. If you feel that strongly about Dillian White and you think he's a cheat, you can go to the gym and you can tell him to his face, I think you're a cheat. If you feel that way, if you feel that strongly about it. Okay. Thank you very much. No, I'm not feeding them at all. They've been dealt with. So I'm not feeding them. I'm just letting them. I'm just giving them a taste of their own medicine back. That's all. But yeah, other than that, hey, it's a good fight Saturday night, and I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Yeah, I think the uppercut's going to be key for Price. The uppercut's a key punch. The right to the body as well. Price has got to go to Chisora's body. Bring the uppercut upstairs. I'm liking the way Price is looking. I really am looking at how he's developing, and his confidence is growing in every fight. You see from the Sokolowski fight, he's built his confidence. Yeah, the Povetkin fight, but he was in that Povetkin fight before Povetkin stopped him. He was in that Povetkin fight. So, yeah. So I think I'm going with Price in this one. I think it's chancy. It's chancy because Dereck does have that right hand, and I think the one thing that I guess sticks in your mind is that the way he knocked out Spilka, the way he knocked out Spilka, that's what sticks in your mind because that was impressive. Again, it looks a great highlight reel, but when you break it down and think about this, that Spilka knockout, Spilka was already ruined by Deontay Wilder. So as I said, I'm going with yes, big up to you too, brother. I'm going with David Price. You have to stand by some things, and I think Price is the better boxer. And I'm going with David Price on this one. Yeah, that's one thing Price has not got to do. He's got to stay in the center of the ring. But I think, yeah, he does stay on the ropes too long. That's a valid point. He's too easily backed up. I disagree with you there. In fact, I very disagree with you there. Yeah, Dereck looks more relaxed than ever. Yeah, but when Dereck's relaxed, do you really like? Have you ever seen Dereck Chisora relaxed in fights and do well? I know Dereck. Dereck needs to be up and hyped and needs to be feel fear about him. Does he fear David Price? No. So I expect Dereck to come in with a very lackluster attitude. I really do. So yeah, David's on a confident. Okay, if you go back, let's just go back just for a second. You go back to David Price when he was knocking over Audley Harrison and knocking out Matt Skelton. At that point in time, then, how would you feel about David Price fighting Dereck Chisora? Yeah, he is. Yes, Chuck. Yes, Chuck. Good seeing her. Yes, he is looking for that win, and I think he's got the ability to do it. I think it could well be an Indian summer for David Price. He just has to, like I said, Dereck is there to be hitting her early. He really is. So yeah. Yeah, there you go. Look at fights where Dereck looks relaxed. And he's not impressive at all. Yes, good night. Right, I'm out of here, people. Have a great night a great night. Enjoy the boxing Saturday night. Is there any other fights that I should be aware of? I know there's Progress in Taylor. I know there's Price and Chisora. Is there any other fights I should be aware of, boxing fans? Yeah, I know Dereck very well. Like I said, I've been very up close to Dereck Chisora and watched all he does. I've watched him spar against Vac and Ustinov. So I'm not talking at my back end here. I've watched him up close spar them, and I've seen him damage his hand at the top of the head of Ustinov. Good night, Kenny. Yes, Stevenson versus Gonzalez. That's a good fight there, man. I'm looking forward to that. How did he do against them? Well, he damaged his hand against thing. He knocked Ustinov out flat. That was something that was kept very quiet when he was sparring for Dereck Chisora in the Tyson Fury rematch. He knocked Ustinov out flat. Yeah. So yeah, he did very well against Ustinov. But then I also saw Ustinov backing Chisora up against the ropes and Vac push him up the ropes and just literally lay on him. So those are big guys. Who is Eubank fighting Matt Kobrov? You're joking. Is Eubank fighting Matt Kobrov? Are you serious? That's my boy, Matt Kobrov. Are you serious? Copendo 9. No, you serious? Serious. If he is, we'll get him on the show. Yeah, we'll definitely get him on the show. Okay, fine. That's a good fight. Price doesn't push his weight around the right way. Yeah, maybe so. There's a lot of things Price doesn't do well. But there's some things that I see in his last fight, he did very well in the Dave Allen fight. And yeah, I like what I saw of Price. I see his improvement as a heavyweight. Okay, so Cecilia Breckus, I did see about it. Yes, Michael, yes, I see you in the room. Yes, there you go. There's your opportunity to meet Cecilia now. If you, yeah, it's a good win if he beats Kobrov. I'll give a call to Matt and see how he's doing it and try and get that. That chap ain't Chisora, mate. Yes, I appreciate that, Chuck. I do appreciate it. All right, let me end this show now. Thank you all so much for watching, as always. Appreciate the show. I appreciate you all watching the show. Thanks a lot. See you out. Take care.